Calls out of rotation. Hopefully, everybody knows that dealer has the first bid and calls go in turn clockwise. You might be surprised how often I have been called because a player somehow forgot which order the boards went in. If someone makes a call when it is not their turn to do so, it is called a call out of rotation, or COR. Most commonly, this happens at the start of the auction, when someone has simply misread the board and made their call, or is not concentrating, perhaps they're chatting about their round of golf, and make their call without looking at the board. Let's start by looking at the rules about what happens and then some examples where you might be able to use your opponent's error to your advantage. Just like an insufficient bid, the person next to act after the offender can accept any call. If they do, the auction continues as normal and all information contained therein is authorised to everyone. So we are going to proceed on the basis the call out of rotation has not been accepted. Let's start with an opening pass out of rotation. If the pass was made when it was your right-hand opponent's turn to call, for example, East is the dealer but South passes before anybody else does anything, and then the rule is very simple. Regardless of what East does, South must repeat their pass. Too bad if East opens and South has a hand that is worthy of an overcall, but not an opener. If the pass was made when it was partner's or left-hand opponent's turn to call, then the rule is a bit different. There is no restriction whatsoever on the partner of the offender, apart from the fact that they have unauthorised information. They must still bid their hand as normal. When the bidding gets back to the offender, they can make a comparable call. If they do so, the auction carries on. If the call they make is not a comparable call, then partner must pass for one round and lead restrictions may apply. Let's say South is the dealer and North starts the auction with a pass. As it isn't accepted, it goes back to South, who opens one heart. West passes, North holds, spades the Queen Jack 5-3, King 9-8-7 of hearts, the Ace 6-3 of diamonds, and the 9-2 of clubs. In order for South to continue in the auction, which North certainly wants them to do, they must find a comparable call. Remember, a comparable call is more specific than the call which has been cancelled, the pass in this case. What does pass mean? It means not a hand containing opening values or shape, example week 2. With this hand, had South opened and had there been no call out of rotation from North, North would likely bid one spade. However, this would not be allowed as it is not a comparable call. Bidding one spade over your partner's one heart is unlimited in value, so it has a wider point range than the opening pass. For it to be a comparable call, it needs to have the same or narrower range. A bid of 3 hearts, which we are going to say is a standard raise showing an 8-card fit and 10 to 11 points, is a comparable call. The meaning of 3 hearts is contained within the withdrawn core of pass. It is more specific. If the call out of rotation is a bid rather than a pass, these same principles apply, but we have to be even more careful in thinking about what is a comparable call. We'll look at some scenarios. Ace Jack 6-5-4 of spades, King Queen 4 of hearts, King 10-9-5 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. Holding this hand as North, you have opened one spade. Unfortunately, it was your long-suffering partner's turn to open the bidding. The bidding reverts to South. Should there be 2 passes, then clearly you just repeat the one spade and life goes on. South has unauthorised information and is instructed to bid as usual. They are very ethical and open one club as they have that sort of hand. West passes. You are now in a difficult position of your own making. You can't repeat your one spade because that shows 6+ points, whereas your opening one spade shows 11+. The point range of your one spade response is wider, so it is not a comparable call. In this instance, there is probably no call you can make that is a comparable call unless, by some chance, your system is that 2 spades shows 5+ and opening values, same as opening one spade. If it doesn't, you are going to have one shot, because as you can't make a comparable call, your partner must pass on their next turn to call, and you can be very sure that your opponents are going to pass as they don't want to help you out. So, in this scenario, you have one call and, chances are, you are going to go 3 no trumps and hope for the best. If this happened in duplicate pairs and your partner makes it when everyone else was in 4 spades for a better score, they may not be too effusive in their thanks for your splendid dummy. Note that in that last scenario, if the contract would have been 4 spades without the core, and, as luck has it, it doesn't make, or 3 no trump scores better, the director may award an adjusted score. If everyone was in 4 spades going one away, then I would adjust your result to that, as you would have not got the 3 no trump contract without the infraction. This is a very rare occurrence, but worth knowing. Same hand, but this time your partner opened 1 no trump after your opening call out of rotation of 1 spade was not accepted. 1 spade promises 5 spades, and so does 2 hearts as a transfer. So, is 2 hearts a comparable call? For the same reasons 1 spade wasn't a comparable call, neither is 2 hearts. A transfer is 0+ points, whereas your opener promised at least 11. So again, a wider point range, so no comparable call. Up to you to place the final contract. This time West, your right-hand opponent, is the dealer, and your 1 spade call out of rotation is not accepted. West now opens 1 heart. Is 1 spade a comparable call? Following the same logic as previously, it is not a comparable call. You don't have to have opening points to overcall, and you may play that an overcall is limited to 16 points. So the point range for the overcall of 1 spade is quite different, so it is not a comparable call. In an instance like this, you can still bid 1 spade, but partner must pass when it is next their turn, and they have unauthorized information about the strength of your hand that they must not act on should they get an opportunity to bid. The hand is spades, ace, 9, 7, 6, 4, jack, 2 of hearts, king, 10, 9, 5, 3 of diamonds, and the 4 and the 3 of clubs. In the above hand, you have opened 2 spades, which in your system is 5 spades and 5 of any other suit with less than 11 points. It was your right-hand opponent's turn to bid, and as left-hand opponent has not accepted your core, it goes back to your RHO, who opens 1 no trump. If you are playing Capelletti against 1 no trump, and 2 spades means 5 spades and 5 of a minor, less than an opening hand, then 2 spades is a comparable call, because the information in 2 spades has the same point range and is more specific about the suits held. Similarly, if your right-hand opponent opened 1 heart and your agreement is that 2 hearts shows 5 spades and 5 of a minor with less than opening values, then 2 hearts would be a comparable call. In all these situations we have looked at, the director can take you away from the table and discuss with you what call you can make, if any, that is a comparable call. You don't ask the director while sitting at the table, and you shouldn't make a call without first checking with the director if it is a comparable call or not. Just like insufficient bids, if you make a call out of rotation and it is not replaced by a comparable call and you become the defending side, the opposition will call the director back, who will advise of lead restrictions, which are the same as with an insufficient bid. When your partner first comes on lead, the declarer can forbid the lead of any one suit that you, as the offender, have not bid legally. In this auction, North has opened one heart when it was West's turn to open. It wasn't accepted and West opened one diamond. North chose to pass, which was not a comparable call, but then later bid two hearts. East is the declarer in two spades. South is on lead, and so the director will advise these. They can forbid, and remember only forbid, the lead of any one suit not legally bid by North. The two heart was bid legally, as there was no restriction on them doing so. So in this instance, East can forbid the lead of a spade, diamond, or club. Just like an insufficient bid, you should always carefully consider whether or not you want to accept a call out of rotation. If you can see a potential advantage to doing so, you should. If it is not clear, neutral, or going to disadvantage you to accept it, then don't. Going back to the hand we looked at earlier, North had opened one spade when it was South's turn to bid. Sitting East, you hold 10-6 of spades, the Jack 9-7-5 of hearts, the Queen 6-4-3 of diamonds, and the 10-5-2 of clubs. You have the option of accepting the call out of rotation. There can surely be no good reason to do so, as the chances of a game contract your way now look rather slim. Much better to not accept it and put the onus on the opposition. If, as in our example, South opens one club, it puts North in a difficult position, and the chances of you getting a good board are greatly increased. Also, if by bad luck you get a bad one, as per the example, you likely have a case for an adjusted score. But if your hand was the 10-6 of spades, the King, Queen, Jack, 5-4-3 of hearts, Ace, 4-3 of diamonds, and 10-5 of clubs, now might be a good time to accept the call of one spade, as you can bid two hearts. By accepting it and bidding two hearts, you are implying quite strongly to your partner you have an overcall range hand, not a strong one, and they can better judge their bidding options. This is perfectly legal and ethical. If your hand was spades, King, Queen, 10-8, hearts, Ace, Jack, 6-4, Ace, Queen of diamonds, and Jack, 10-9 of clubs, accepting the call out of rotation of one spade and overcalling one no trump is a good option, as it tells your partner pretty clearly what you have, and they can bid accordingly. So, in summary, a call out of rotation can always be accepted by the next person to act after the offender. If you start the auction with a pass and it was your right-hand opponent's turn to bid, then regardless of what they do, you must repeat your pass. If you start the auction with a pass and it was your partner's turn to bid, you do not have to repeat your pass, but you do have to make a comparable call in order for your partner to bid on their next turn. If you start the auction with a bid and it was your partner or right-hand opponent's turn to bid, then if it gets back to you with no one having bid, you must repeat your bid. If you start the auction with a bid and it was your partner or right-hand opponent's turn to bid, then if one or both of them bid, you must make a comparable call for your partner to bid on their next turn. This will often not be possible. Talk to the director away from the table to discuss if there is any call you can make that they are going to rule as a comparable call. If you make a call out of rotation and it is not replaced by a comparable call and you become the defending side, then on your partner's turn to lead, declarer may forbid your partner the lead of any one suit you have not bid in the legal auction. If there is a way you can use the opposition's call out of rotation to convey useful information to your partner about your hand by making a bid, you should accept it. If you can see that not accepting the opposition's call out of rotation could potentially make life difficult for them, don't accept it. And if in doubt, don't accept it.